Hi, I'm Marky,
And I'm Andrew.
and this is the Happy Everly After podcast.
A few years ago, we went through something that completely shook our world. We lost our daughter, Everly Jo.
Since living every parent's worst nightmare, we are constantly trying to master the art of feeling joy and pain at the same time. On this podcast, we're going to cover everything from joy, pain, marriage, parenthood, how humor can help mend a broken heart, and everything in between.
So come join us on our journey. Ready.
Okay, so, hi, my name is Marky Osler. I am with my handsome husband, Andrew Osler. If you are listening to the podcast, you can't see how crazy blue his eyes are. They're awesome. But if you're watching on YouTube, then just zoom in or whatever. Anyways, okay, so
I'm rolling my eyes.
the reason why we are wanting to start a podcast, I actually decided that I wanted to start a podcast. It was like a year ago, and I tried doing it by myself. And as fun as I am, I just could not. I just need someone to banter with, and who better than my partner in crime. Also, we've been through a lot, and we've seen a lot, and our marriage has stayed strong through a lot of hurdles and trials. And so I think that we have a lot to say, and I do think that people might see some of these topics that we're going to cover and want to hear about what we have to say about it. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. I feel like I'm just a pretty normal guy.
You're
So
a
I
normal
don't-
guy, yeah. Well, I feel like I am definitely the social butterfly. I've always been super outgoing. And what's crazy is Drew is in sales, and people are like, oh, he's like such a good salesman, but like he's an introvert, but I think it's because I'm just so loud and crazy, and he just lets me be loud and
You
crazy.
talk enough for the both of us. That's for
Okay, honey. So I'm going to be mindful of that during the podcast, but he has a lot to say too. Like, his opinions matter. Okay, so let's just kind of introduce ourselves. You can go first, kind of talk about where you were born and raised, where you went to school, what things you were interested in growing up, and let's go from there.
Okay, my favorite game in the whole world. The Get to Know You game.
Oh, I was like, football? Yeah.
No, I
what?
hate the Get to Know You game. So Andrew Osler is my name, and I was born and raised in Murray, Utah. My mom, my dad grew up with an older brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister. And
Phone's on silent.
no, yeah, just I grew up, I feel like a pretty normal life, loving family. Things that I love, I am a big sports fan. Anything that has to do with sports, I love. So grew up playing soccer all growing up and throughout high school. Loved that. Still play it a little bit now, just as a washed up old man on an amateur indoor soccer league.
He says that, but he's the one that scores all the goals for that washed up team, honey. So you may be washed up, but you're the best of the washed up.
Yeah, which
crew.
isn't saying much. So, love sports, grew up playing, loving to play all different kinds of sports with my friends. So, football in the backyard and basketball at the church and baseball, home run derbies, all that fun stuff. But big University of Utah fan. Love all things University of Utah. Not even because I'm alumni. I did go to
You
school
are,
there.
honey.
I didn't
Claim
graduate.
it.
I didn't graduate from there.
But he went to school at the U.
I took like 3 classes at the U,
Just
but it
so
was
he
really
could
expensive.
get
Must
discounted.
tickets. Yeah, that was one reason. That was one perk to it.
Pause. I have to tell a story. Him and his friends, this is the funniest thing ever. Like when you were talking about how you guys liked all sports and stuff. You have to tell them the story about how you were, you and your friends would go get like DI golf clothes.
Oh yeah, we did that once. Yeah.
They would get like dressed up in golf clothes and then they would have somebody call a miniature golf place and say, "Hey, we have professional miniature golfers coming to play on your
course.
on your course." And then so literally
would
they would
get, like-
reserve it for them.
Yeah, we would get just like an old golf bag from the DI, some stack it full of putters, and we would go play. Yeah, and we would have a caddy, so one of our friends would follow us around as a caddy. Yeah, it was fun.
And there were like girls that like made posters and stuff.
Yeah, a be quiet sign, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it
Hilarious.
was pretty fun.
Don't do drugs, kids. Just go play miniature golf. Because that sounds like fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. Yeah. That's yeah. My hobbies are sports, family, and work. That you typically, yeah, that makes up pretty much my life.
And catering to his wife.
I mean, that falls under family.
Wink. I know. Okay, so my turn. I was born and raised in a town called St. George, Utah. St. George, Utah. And it's southern Utah, so it's closer to Las Vegas than Salt Lake, but it's still Utah. So it's like desert, red rock. Think Zion National Park. That's where I grew up. It's like the most beautiful place on earth. Would I ever live there again? No, I don't see us ever living there again, but it was beautiful, and I appreciate the beauty of it now that I'm older. My entire family is still there, well, most of them, and so we go down there to visit family from time to time, so that's fun. I went to Pineview High School, but I grew up kind of all over St. George just because I was part of a mixed family, and so my parents grew us up on opposite sides of town, and so we did a lot of driving, and I had a lot of friends kind of scattered all over the place down there. And then I graduated high school a little early and moved up to Provo. I actually had one of my best friends who was 18. She signed my lease in Provo, and I would pay her every month my rent check, and she would pay my landlord the rent check. So I was like kind of a hustler, kind of a go-getter. I didn't like when people told me I couldn't do anything or I couldn't do something. I'm still very much that way, right, honey?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I started a little bit younger in life. No real reason other than at the time St. George to me was too small of a town and I just wanted to get out. And when I was living up here, I lived in Provo, Utah, and did the whole Provo thing for a while. I call those my college years, but I only went to college for 2 weeks. And then I dropped out. I couldn't do it.
Big education people here.
I guess like that just goes to show like we're kind of entrepreneurial like in our brains. Like we like it's hard.
Education's still important.
Oh,
I
it's
believe in education.
so important.
Knowledge.
my thing was like I always had really good jobs and I would get promoted in those jobs, and so I was never really motivated to go to school because I was getting paid really well. Like by the time I was 20 or 21, I managed my own Verizon wireless store. I still have that what's it called? The card?
Business card.
A business card that says Marky Griffin, my maiden name, and then it says store manager for Verizon because I'm like, that's my claim to fame.
Put that on your resume.
Yeah. Oh man, my resume now. Yeah. I feel like I haven't done a whole lot but I've been a wife and mother. So, anyways. So yeah, that is a little bit about me. We ended up meeting through friends. The short story is we met through friends. The longer story is that I didn't even like really, I can't even say that I dated him. I just wrote this guy while he was serving an LDS mission. And when he came home from his mission, I was hanging out with not him, but some of his friends. And that night I met Drew. And he told me his name was Andrew, and I was like, I'm going to call you Drew. And so basically everyone from like me forward knows Drew is Drew, and then everyone before that life calls him Andrew.
Yep.
So, anyways, do you want to tell them how we, like, timeline of how we dated and got engaged and how you proposed to me?
Yeah, so we met in May of 2013 and just kind of hit it off from there. Just started hanging out a lot, and it wasn't even really like exclusive, but it almost turned into that pretty quickly. So yeah, we just started hanging out, doing a lot of fun, all the fun things that you do when you're dating, going on dates and staying up way too late
Staying
and
up way too late. Like, I don't know how we functioned at our lives the next day, honestly.
yeah, when you're in your 20s, you can get away with a lot more of that kind of stuff. But so yeah, we dated and just things progressed and we ended up falling in love with each other, and she was kind of the one that initiated a lot of the conversations. Like you were the first one to tell me that you loved me, but I
Yeah.
was already kind of on the same page as you
And
at that point.
just so we're clear on that, the reason for that is because I was like very deathly scared of commitment. And I was like, I was having so much fun just like dating around and being single, and I thought I'd be single forever. And so when we met, and it just like was so natural, and we were just, anyways, he was just very patient with me, and didn't
I mean, I don't think
push
either of
me.
us were really in a hurry to get married or anything like that.
You liar. You were ready the night you saw me across the room.
Love at first sight. So yeah, um, yeah, I think it was in around Thanksgiving time. We took a trip to Dallas, Texas. Um, I went on an LDS mission to Texas and knew some people from Texas, and we ended up going to a Cowboys game over Thanksgiving with some of the people that I knew from Texas, and
they won. The Cowboys won. Woo!
yeah, I can't even remember if they did win, but
They
yeah.
did win. They played the Raiders. I remember. Go
Okay.
on.
I mean, I know who they played, but anyways, so we hung out in Dallas that weekend, and one thing that we did during the weekend is we took a tour of the stadium and saw the locker rooms and the suites, and it was pretty cool. If you get a chance to do it, it's pretty incredible. Part of the tour, though, the last part of the tour, is that they take you down onto the field,
Pause.
and
And the entire time we're taking the tour, I'm like posting a zillion pictures. I'm like on social media, just like, look at me, like touching this locker, like Romo, yeah, DeMarcus Ware. Like this was like, those were like the main huge players at the time that I was in love with. And so I was just like going nuts in heaven. And meanwhile, he's over there like pooping his pants because he is getting ready to propose to me. Go on. Sorry. I just gave it away.
yeah, no. So we went onto the field. Then they let you play around on the field. You know, there's some footballs you can throw and stuff like that. And there was a line of people getting their picture taken at the 50-yard line at midfield. There was like a professional photographer and the whole 9 yards. And so I went over to the tour guide. He already kind of knew the tour guide beforehand that was the plan for me to pop the question down there on the field. And so I kind of went over to him, and he let us. I grabbed Marky, and
started walking me to the front of the line.
yeah, he got us straight to the front of the line, so we didn't have to wait in the line. It was kind of nice. And yeah, got down on one knee and asked her to marry me, and luckily she said yes. That would have been embarrassing.
And I was like, bugged because here is this huge line of people waiting to take a picture on the star. And the stadium was like brand new at the time too. So like, I mean, a couple of years old, but it was just like, I know that all these people had like saved up all their money to like come to Dallas that weekend, enjoy this experience. They're waiting in line, and Drew just walks to the front of the line, and I'm like, what are you doing? I was like so embarrassed. And so then when I finally realized what he was doing, I was like, stop it. And then people started like cheering and stuff, so they probably went from being pissed at us for skipping them in line to being happy for us. But we got pictures of us, like the professional photographer took pictures of the moment, so that was really sweet. And yeah, in a couple of them, there's like people in the background like cheering for us and stuff. So cute. Yeah, so got engaged. So that was November, and then we ended up getting married April the next year.
Of 2014, yeah. So it was about a year from us meeting, dating, and engaged till we got married. So did all the wedding planning. I mean, you did all the wedding planning.
Kill me.
You know?
My hair started falling out. Like it was like so
Why is
stressful.
that so stressful? Why are weddings so stressful?
I don't know. We should
so dumb.
We should talk about that on a
Who cares?
episode.
Like,
oh, I thought you meant like who would care about that topic. But
no,
right, like who cares?
It's like it's one
I know.
day. And
I
you
mean,
have
it's
pictures,
the biggest. It's
but
the
everything
biggest
else is
day in your
important.
life, that like that far into your life.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. But dang, that wedding industry, they get you. You know, it's like, do you need the photo booth? Yes, we need it. Is it another couple $1,000s? Yes, throw it on. Yeah. Wouldn't go back. I would never plan a wedding again. Don't ever leave me, because I don't want to plan another wedding again.
No plans to do that.
Okay, so that is a little bit about us. That is probably it for this first episode of just our meet cute and how we fell in love and stuff. And then we're going to talk about a lot of things on this podcast. Like I said at the beginning, we've been through a lot, and we have a lot to say. And so stay tuned for more topics. Some episodes will be more lighthearted, some will be a little heavier. We're going to cover it all. So, yeah, thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube, thank you for watching. And we will see you guys later.
Peace.